to Alvas Music. This is Seth's Tone Zone. This week, I am bringing you a pedal shootout of some sort. Really, it's not a shootout. It's really more of a discussion and showing you guys some gain stacking techniques. There's lots of videos on this out there in the world of YouTube, but I thought for Alva's subscribers, I'd show a little bit of gain stacking, staging, showing off what you can kind of do with your pedal board on what kind of drive pedals you're already running if you're running more than one, or different kinds of things like that. And what I mean by that is today I have pedals I've demoed plenty in the past, but there's different kinds of ways to, say you have a medium overdrive / high gain overdrive and you want to boost it with a little bit more gain and just kind of change the tonal characteristic of that pedal a little bit. But you know, that's kind of not, I don't want to say that's a bad example, but what I mean by that is whatever pedal usually you have last on the chain is the tonal characteristics of that pedal are going to come through more than any of the other pedals. But if you have other gain stages, different preamps that are before that, it's going to affect that sound no matter what. And that's a good thing. A lot of guys, what they do is, if they're not using pedals and they're using their amps overdrive, is they'll put something like a Tube Screamer circuit either in the effects loop or in front of it, and it pushes the tubes harder, and there's a little bit of this mid characteristic that comes through for like solo boost, etc. Most of the time, I stack generally when I just want more gain than if I set a pedal, if I know I don't have a ton of gain on, I won't overstack it. Or if I'm playing a solo and I just want to cut through, I have different, burping there, different ways of doing that. And there is plenty of ways of doing that. There's infinite amounts of, combinations and stuff like that. So I picked some pedals we have here to represent each of those kind of, I want to say boost because you are boosting the signal and but just tonal variations of what you can kind of do, if that makes any sense at all. But okay, so first of all, I just want to talk about what I'm playing through. I decided to change it up a little bit. I'm always going through that V40 Deluxe. This time I wanted to go through the 68 reissue Deluxe Reverb by Fender, silver face. I'm not going through the new custom channel, which is more of a bassman kind of character. I'm going through the classic deluxe kind of channel. And the tubes in here, other than 6L6s that are usually in the other one here, are 6V6s. So they're going to respond differently to different pedals, and it's only a 112. So I just thought I'd change it up. I have very light reverb on and EQ'd it the way I usually like it, meaning like 7 on bass, 7 on treble. There's no mids in this, no mid control in this amp, but that's okay. SM57 miking. I got a Nash Telecaster. And let me talk about the pedals I am playing today for you. So I have an EP booster by Xotic for a clean boost, but it is colored because it has this sparkly goodness. I love this pedal. One knob, very easy. It has like this, it just kind of enhances your tone. So I like what it does to your tone. It colors it, but that's what pedals do. I mean, I've never understood completely that I want complete transparency. It's like, okay, don't plug in a pedal. Just plug into your amp and go. That transparent word. To me, pedals are supposed to be why they call them effects. You know what I mean? They're supposed to affect your tone. I'm not trying to put down those people that love that transparency. There's times I want it to, but for the most part, I want my effects to affect the signal. So EP booster, I'm going to show if you just use a clean boost going in to I can do it into light drives or medium, heavy drives here. The next thing a lot of people like to use is this is a RYRA clone. A lot of people like the clean boost characteristic of a clone, but it has some more gain than a clean boost. It can definitely affects the upper frequencies and can enhance other pedals. A lot of people like to use a tube screamer because it has that beautiful, nice, the mids really cut through on a solo, like I was saying, either into an amp's distortion or other pedals. So we're doing pedals just to show the clean of the Fender amp here. The next one I have is more of a medium drive. It's the Andy Timmons BB-Preamp from Xotic. It's doing plenty of gain. Really, the more gain you add, the less... When you're stacking into a pedal that has more gain, to me, it adds more gain, of course, but you start over compressing everything to death, and I'm going to show that in other pedals that have more gain, but I kind of like to use it more into like a medium gain, because when you put a light gain into a medium gain, it kind of becomes a high gain, you know what I mean? So BB-Preamp, here is a high gain pedal, JHS Angry Charlie, the newest version with the 3-band EQ. I'm using that as like my, fullest gain. It's pretty compressed already, so anything you throw into that, not to say you can't boost it, but you can, but it's pretty gnarly already and going. And then some people like to put stuff into a fuzz, so I'm using the JHS Muffletta. The tonal characteristic in the Muffletta is going to come through the most because it's last in the chain, whatever you're boosting it into. So there's other ones. Other people would say put the big muff sound into another pedal and you're going to get more of that characteristic. But I have it set up kind of lowest to highest gain. That's just an example. That's kind of how I use it. I have a Klon in front of my Wampler Pantheon that I just got now, and that's kind of the only two gains I have. I actually run my like a fuzz face type circuit first because fuzz faces sometimes can get in the way of other pedals. There's so much. You kind of have to set up your pedal board to work. Certain pedals and the other ones don't like each other, and so yeah. Okay, I'm talking way too much like I always do. That's one of the complaints I get on comments all the time, and it just seems like I could never completely fix it because I like to talk anyway. So here's my clean tone going through the Fender Deluxe. A little bit of reverb on there, just a little. Middle. And some bridge. Okay, so let's start. I'll kind of just play each of these pedals just by themselves, like just a little example of what it kind of already does. Sorry, this EP is the cable is outweighing the pedal. Sometimes, when you have it on a board, they'll stay, but we just got them out here. So here's just a regular, and then you throw a little bit of EP booster on it. It adds a little something. Not just boost. To me, it just kind of adds this little sparkly goodness. It's harder to hear, I'm sure, through a video, but most people, they know what this thing does. You got your RYRA kind of sound. Which just does something very, very nice with those mids. It adds a lot, and if there was any pedal on this whole entire setup that's transparent, it's the Klon, 808. Next we have the BB-Preamp from Xotic. Let me turn it on this time. More of a driving pedal. Kind of works nice on the neck or the bridge, really. JHS, this is more of a turn it up in rage, bridge pickup kind of pedal. More compressed. Okay, and then the Muffletta, which I have, I believe, in the Ram's Head setting. super compressed. But cool at the same time. Anyway, so let's talk about stacking. So say you're playing a Tube Screamer, solo, something like that, more rhythm based. It's nice, but it's not, you want a little bit more gain. You could try different combinations. Now, let's try a clon into that Tube Screamer. That's nice. It really enhanced it. I mean, I was only in the neck pickup there, so that's one way you can do it. I've heard about people using the clon to push their other drives. So maybe like, guys, I'm just using the clon as an example first, but something into the BB, it's going to be a lot more gain, but here's just the BB. There's just this like, I mean, what do you think? Isn't it? It's just kind of like it cuts.
Oh yeah, that's a nice combo.
It's a really nice combo. That's how I'm using it on my board now. I used to use Tube Screamers more to cut into other drives, and I'm really enjoying the clon. A lot of people like to leave that on all the time. Like, I mean, you could do that. This is just your main rhythm. You just want a little something. Not too much, really just bringing up the volume of your amp. Almost like an on all the time. Bam, you click in your BB. Super nice. That's a great way to use that. Now, what a lot of other people like to do is they have something more based on their Tube Screamer. Like, if their Tube Screamer is their main rhythm. I mean, they have to drive like halfway, a little bit more now. But plenty of mids are already going through. Throw something like a clean boost, like the EP booster here, and it might add a little bit more volume and a little bit more gain. In this case, the booster is doing what it's supposed to do. It's boosting the signal, more volume, less of a tonal effect, more of just what you already have. But that might be good enough to really cut through a band, especially with the Tube Screamer. Plenty of mids going through there already. So you already got that kind of a setup. So that's what a clean boost would do to something. So now a Tube Screamer in front of something. So in front of like the BB, right? Here's your medium gain. Let me turn the Tube Screamer off. Woohoo! We got loudness in here. That's a lot of gain already. You're kind of there. Throw a Tube Screamer. Let's keep turning it down. Throw a Tube Screamer in front of it. It might enhance those mids. as you can hear, when you go into more of a medium gain, it really is a lot more compressed. It kind of turns into like a super distortion in a way. It's not all the way there, though. It's not all the way compressed. But with something like the JHS Angry Charlie, you're pretty much already there. So. Throw a tube screamer in front of that, though. It's going to be different. Really like exploding, you know. It's almost a lot too much compressing, but it's cool. You cut through more. Without the tube screamer. So that's how a tube screamer would boost that pedal. Let's hear what the RYRA does to it. So JHS by itself. RYRA. Wow.
It's a clarity with the clone.
Yes.
Nice.
A lot more clarity than the 808 does. I mean, it's newer than the Tube Screamer. Tube Screamer came out in like 79 or something, 80. RYRA's, it's more of a 90s, not RYRA's. Clones are more of a 90s pedal. So I could see why I kind of favor the clone sound into all of these so far. They really have enhanced everything. So let's hear a clean boost though into the JHS. RYRA. Oops, I meant EP. It's less of a gain boost. Of course, I don't have the EP cranked. I have it kind of low because it gets really loud. The clean boost is really already enhancing what the pedal already sounds like. So if you really like your pedal already, you don't want to tonally affect it so much, something like the EP booster or a straight clean boost is the way to go. When you put it in front, it is going to add a little bit more compression, a little bit more gain. If you were to put it behind, which is how I actually run one of my booster pedals, it's just going to boost the volume up even more and not affect the pedal before it at all, other than it's boosting. It's like more of a solo booster. That's how I like to use my boost. So that's what the EP does with that. So all three do something a little bit different. More mids with the 808, some magic with the RYRA, and just more overall volume, little tonally. And this here now. So you've heard almost every combination here. Okay, Big Muff. A Big Muff is very scooped kind of a sound. So, what can these do to enhance this? This here. Let's hear what a clean boost does. Here's just by itself, Big Muff. too much. It is boosting the volume ever so slightly. It almost adds extra low end, and it's a little bit really loose kind of a sound here. Not as much. Let's hear what a RYRA does to it. JHS by itself. That's very useful. It added upper mids, and you can really cut through. Actually, more lower mids. I say a Tube Screamer is going to add more upper mids, so it really gave it some body and gave it some extra juice, and that might be good because what a lot of people have trouble with when they're playing big muff pedals is cutting through with a band. It's kind of a notorious pedal for all out I always think like Smashing Pumpkins and other bands like that. In your face kind of a sound, but that might be useful to stack a Klon type pedal in front of that. Definitely. Okay, and the 808 is the last example here. Very in vein with what a Klon is doing. So that's nice though. I don't know. There's something about what that so far if there was a winner in this thing, it's that this is I think my favorite way to stack. So I hope that helps out some people today. There's a million other combinations and a million other videos with different ways. But this is just a very simple way. You know, it's a less is more approach. Use your lighter gains to boost your heavier gains. And you can try vice versa at home. Please come down here and try it. Ask me questions. I'm always willing to help you answer them and or you guys teach me something I don't know. Please, I am up for that because I learn something every day here. So thanks for joining me this week. I will see you guys next week with a new video. Thank you. Subscribe, comment. I've finally caught up with comments now. I've been kind of behind on them, but I think I'm caught up now. If I haven't answered your comment on this video, and I will go back and find that comment, okay? Thanks.